City of Stevens Point Board of Water and Sewerage Commissioners meeting, recorded December 13, 2021.
So, the first order of business is the roll call, which will be included in minutes.
Yeah, we'll show Anna and May excused. I don't think
I'm
Anna's
here.
on here. Oh, I'm sorry, Anna's here. I apologize. There she is.
All right. Is there a video?
Let me turn that off, and there we go. Do that.
Yep, welcome, Anna. All
Yeah,
right,
hello.
approval of last month's minutes. Are there any corrections or additions?
I didn't have any corrections or additions. I would move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor signify by the sign of aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Claims for the water department. Question.
I had one question on 56088. Professional services for well 4 replacement. Now, elsewhere, we're seeing things come through for well 12.
Yeah.
Should
It's,
have,
our naming convention goes back and forth on this. Yeah, it is the same project. Well 4 will be abandoned, and whatever we end up deciding for a appropriate site will be called Well 12. So they're one and the same.
Well, a name and
Yeah. Call it the new well, and that's,
yeah.
when you look back, you'll never know what it is. Yeah.
Under 56134, inventory and hydrant painting, I assume the bulk of that 24,000 is inventory?
No, this is actually services. We do this project, a lot of times it'll be a multi-year thing. I think after this year, we're probably gonna be pretty well set, but this is actually where they go through and they blast the hydrant down to bare metal, then they put that zinc, coating, primer on it, and then they repaint the whole thing, put new chains on it. So that's approximately 100?
Yeah, I think, Mayor, this is probably only about half of that, right? Right. Yeah.
Okay.
but other years, didn't we have somebody that just went around and painted them without all the blasting and stuff?
Yeah, well, we've had in many years past, maybe more than 15. We used to have kids in wagons and paintbrushes, paint them. But especially on our salt routes, they get pretty bad pretty quick.
Okay.
So just keeping them functional and, yeah.
Any other questions on water? On to sewage department claims? Questions?
I had a thought about, whether we need to run, sewer to our new, well, or just go to,
My grandmother, yeah.
So you might want to tell everyone to mute themselves.
I think I'm gonna mute everybody. It looks like everybody's on a computer, so they can unmute. Okay. Yeah. When you need to talk, everybody, you're granted permission to unmute yourself. All right, go ahead. So, it depends on the final site. We probably have sewer nearby, and there are also a number of other things that you need to consider when placing a well, and that is that if you have gravity sewer that has a traditional hub and spigot type connection, you actually need to do some lining there. It has to be constructed to a water main spec so that it's watertight. So there's a few things that'll come up in that regard when we discover what our site is.
Right.
That will be part of the project plan, because we'll have to do that at the same time as constructing the well, before a well goes online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question on 56086. We're troubleshooting the lift station, industrial park.
Chris?
Yep, we had a variable frequency drive issue, so basically the motor starter that gets the, each of the pumps running, one of those variable frequency drives went out, and we weren't sure exactly as to what was causing it, so we brought in LWL and came in and looked at it.
Did we solve it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll bring them in.
All right, let's go on to stormwater claims. Questions?
Also, real quick, for John or Quirk or whoever logged in under that for community media, I'm not sure if that did it, but I do have a file going to the cloud that I'll share with you afterwards.
No questions?
No question.
All right, I need a motion and a second to approve all 3 sets of claims, please.
Move to approve the claims as presented.
Anna will second.
And a second.
All those in favor signify by the sign of aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Eric, water supply?
Good afternoon, all. You'll notice there's a significant increase in usage for November.
Absolutely.
Kind of looked at, we can data log the mill now, paper mill, and we've realized that they're using a little bit more water than normal. They've changed their process a little bit, so been in contact with them. I believe that most of the increase here is so that's probably the big jump you can see there. Other than that, we've got the equipment for the air mixer in for the tower here on Bliss Avenue. We'll be installing that hopefully in the first quarter of 2022. All the equipment's there, we need to get it out, get the install manual together, and kind of reach out to some contractors to see what they can do for a price. And the time we bring it back, so we have that money approved from last year's capital. Other than that, that's all I really had to add.
All right, thank you very much. Chris, on the sewage treatment operation?
All right, we met all of the permit limits that are required for the month of November. We did mothball the biogas engine to save power, just so we could, stop running water to it and trying to heat it over the winter. So we were able to winterize that, while we wait and make our final decision as to what we're gonna do with it. During that same time, we did have a gas skid issue, so the dryer and the number 4 boiler, both ended up having to run on natural gas for quite a while, due to a condenser that was out in the moisture removal for the gas skid. But we were able to still produce over 27% of our own heat instead of the normal 70 to 75% that we would get in a normal month. But that's why you'll see that number's a little higher, or a little lower. Couple things on the discharge, the effluent discharge data. I don't know if anybody caught it, but on 11/8, the flow was 0.078 instead of the 2.078 that it should have been. That was a issue with our SCADA system rebooting at the wrong time, and we ended up just averaging the day before and the day after, just in case somebody was looking at that and looked at it. So that's been updated now and is now submitted to the DNR.
So where it says final pounds, suspended solids for the day, it was 3?
Yeah, that's gonna go up, because that's based on that flow.
Okay. And what about, I see that, one of the numbers jumped way up to like 100 and...
You're looking at the effluent CBOD for 11/28.
Yes.
That was we believe the wrong sample was put into the bottle.
Oh.
An error in the lab.
Okay.
That's what that was.
Okay. You know, all of your numbers are always so boring because they're always good.
Thank you.
Everything met standards, and so when I saw some that didn't, I said, hey, I wonder what this is about.
Might as well ask, right?
That's what it was about.
That's okay. I don't have anybody that's Okay.
Okay. Let's go on to construction and maintenance report, Craig.
Good afternoon, everybody. All the asphalt got done, our project, Wellhead project got buttoned up. And the asphalt did on time luckily, so we're good to go there. Those are doing some of the, hydrant maintenance for the winter project. We have 3 people out, usually plowing the airport. Lately, so everything seems to be going well there, so that's all I have.
Very good. All right, the wellhead protection ordinance, this is the second time we've seen this, maybe the third.
I think it's the third, yeah. At our last visitation of this, if you recall, and I'm gonna jump ahead to the map, what we did is we discussed adopting a Zone C, because our current ordinance didn't have one, it was covered in county ordinance. And county spent a few years talking about it, and, this is the shape that originally came as a city and county, as well as Point Plover Whiting recommendation to adopt a Zone C. Because a good majority of that Zone C is in our extraterritorial review authority area, it just seemed like the right time to add it, especially if there was any possibility that it wasn't gonna get adopted the way we kinda wanted it to get adopted by the county through the county. Now they have adopted their language, and this map has some small differences as we discussed last time, the Zone B. And this map you guys have already approved is adopting these outlines, so that's not really what we're here to discuss, but I just wanted to recap. The Zone B and some of the other maps has fingers out of it here to match recharge areas, whereas this one is more blocky to account for the fact that we will very likely have future well siting needs, which is why this finger wouldn't come into here. The content of this draft is almost exactly what the city's current ordinance reads, except for there are a few, I'd say, significant differences in appearance. For one, our current ordinance has an actual legal description, meets and bounds legal description of the outline of the zones. And that, you know, now that we can drill down very specifically on maps, we just have it as the polygons shown as on the map. The other difference is that we have added the Zone C, like we previously discussed. So what I'm bringing back today is just language that matches in format that which the county is adopting, with the exception of the fact that when you guys acted on this last time, I think it was Anna's motion to move the animal confinement from special exception, which in the city stuff we call conditional use, down to prohibited in Zone B. So other than that, this is what you guys have seen in previous meetings, but we wanted to bring the entire draft to you because next month it'll go to Plan Commission. So rather than have to discuss the fact that the Utility Commission saw the item, added the Zone C with appropriate language, it'd just be neater to say, here's the whole ordinance amendment.
Mm-hmm. We almost passed this the last time we had it, and one of the members of the commission wanted to have some additional discussions about it privately, and so evidently that has happened, and there weren't any things that changed as a result of that, so we need a motion and a second to approve it.
Move for approval.
Haynes will second.
All those in favor signify by the sign of aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Community Area Network.
The update there is the fact that we will be putting bid out shortly. I think maybe before we meet next month, it'll be advertised for the project that we're doing, that is a combination of county, school district, and city efforts. The bulk of that, of course, being for the county and the school district to add on to our network to further serve them. So it's pass-through cost type stuff for them. that's where we were at last month too. But we just haven't hit the street with that, notice yet, so we'll probably be doing that in the next weeks.
Okay. And anything else on the director's report?
Nope, nothing else.
Okay, motion to adjourn? Oh, go ahead.
In our minutes, we talked about getting a capital improvement plan in
Yep, we've got kind of a full agenda today, so I thought I'd just bring it in January. A few things to add, and there aren't any, longer items in January, so we don't need any spending authority before then that we don't already have. So it'll be on January.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn is in order?
Move to adjourn. Go ahead, Carl.
Move to adjourn.
All those in favor signify by a sign of aye.
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 Pose same sign. Motion carried.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.